Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakbadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone who teach 100% truth. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. It's your brother Ra'aya, back with another one from GMS Detroit. And yeah, y'all. DJT, man, this guy is a class clown, man. It says DJT announces U.S. blockade of Strait of Hormuz and shocking outburst, right? So he basically saying that the U.S. is going to try to put a blockade of ships around, like having no oil come out. Cause look, he's this is something like a child would do, like a bully or something, just because. Salakia, my sinuses is going off just because they can't get any oil to pass through that Strait of Hormuz. They're gonna stop everybody else who's able to get the oil, who's able to get the oil that's passing through the Strait of Hormuz, right? Like if this my ball, you know how a kid, like, they got the basketball, they got a ball, and everybody want to play with their ball, but they don't want them to play with the ball. They like, no, and they mad because they not playing the way that they want them to play and stuff. No, it's my ball, right? That's DJT for you, y'all. Let's read this. It says DJT has claimed the U.S. will take matters into their own hands. Well, first off, the matter is in your hand, Esau, and you can't do nothing about this. The fact that you're saying you're taking it in your own hands is foolish when the strait is still being controlled by somebody else. This whole time you've been talking about peace and safety, right? The whole time you've been saying peace and safety, but none of that has came about, y'all. This First Thessalonians 5:3, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction come up upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. And I believe that these prices that they so-called said went down far as gas and all of that, because it haven't went down around here, but they claim DJD, he claiming a whole bunch of stuff. He's saying that we got the best economy ever, right? The best economy since I've been president. It's like, man, you don't have, man, this, he just lying like a month. These people come out the womb lying. So I believe that Psalms 58, right? Right. This Psalm chapter 58, verse 3, it says, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. This nigga, he just lied, just a liar. Everything he's saying is a lie, right? So let's go, let's keep reading. It says, after U.S. Iran talks failed to reach, matter of fact, DJT has claimed the U.S. will take matters into their own hands over the Strait of Hormuz by announcing the U.S. military will now form a blockade of the shipping passage. And all that's going to do is get him into further beef with the surrounding countries, or the countries who are allowed to get these oils passed through that Strait of Hormuz, right? So that's gonna do is put them into the to the fight. Let's see what countries mainly use the Strait of Hormuz for export slash import. Oh, look at this. Let's go to Ezekiel 38. Did I spell that right? Yeah. This is Ezekiel chapter 38. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because these countries are in Ezekiel 38 and 13 here. It says Sheba and Dedan, right? And the merchants of Tarshish with all that. Matter of fact, let me start at verse uh no, let me start at verse 12. To take a spoil and to take a prey, to turn thy hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations which have gotten cattle and goods that dwell in the midst of the land. Now in verse 13, Sheba and Dedan. Sheba is Saudi Arabia, and Dedan is the UAE, the United Arab Emirates. And the merchants of Tarshish, Tarshish is Spain, with all the young lions thereof, shall say unto thee, art thou come to take a spoil? So they like, as America come to do the same thing. You know how America goes and they basically bully and take whatever they want, right? And this is essentially what they're doing right now as well. They're trying to bully and stop people from getting goods, which these main countries that get this, it's these people that's here, right? It's just the countries that primarily use the Strait of Hormuz for export and import include Saudi Arabia, accounts for a significant share of crude oil exports through the strait, and this is why they're about to get involved in this thing, right? All right, Sheba and Dedan gonna get involved in this thing. Um, the United Arab Emirates is Dedan. It says also relies heavily on the strait for oil exports, right? So we can see this thing about to escalate if they choose to. If they choose to do this, they're about to they're gonna really feel it, right? All right, so it says after U.S. Iran talk failed to reach a resolution of peace in Pakistan on Saturday amid a precarious ceasefire, the situation, and they had to use precarious, right? Because this wasn't actually a ceasefire if they allowed Israel to bomb Lebanon, right? It wasn't a ceasefire because this is what the whole thing was about in the first place. So if they still allowed them to do this, right? That's like you making an agreement. This is that same thing as Psalms 55, right? Right. This is Psalms 55 and verse 20. It says, He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant, because Esau Edom is known for breaking covenants, for breaking agreements, for breaking peace agreements, breaking treaties, all of that. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. Look, this is proving it. Israel set up here. These let me say the Israelis sit up here and bombed Lebanon when they when everybody thinking that it's a peace agreement. It's like as soon as you make an agreement with Esau, because these so-called Israelis, the Amalekites, they are Edomites, right? They're actually the top tribe of the Edomites, the Amalekites, of the wicked, right? It says, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords, right? Because he's saying smooth things to make smooth things over, but in the back of his head, he like, yeah, as soon as they put their guard down, I'm about to tear their ass up. And